All right, if I can just get your names and titles first.
Linda Savoury-Gordon on the board of CAPT, the Coalition for Algoma Passenger Trains.
Al Errington, co-chair of CAP Trains.
So a meeting is taking place here this evening, I guess to provide interested people with the absent Algoma Passenger Rail Service, how things are going, and in general how things are developing.
That's right. It's been a while since we've had a town hall meeting, and we want to update people and to have their input, especially as to how we should proceed at this point about some particular items. Yeah.
I understand there was a September deadline for companies to declare their interest in taking over the passenger rail service, and it seems like there are a couple of interested parties out there. That's got to be encouraging somewhat.
It really is. We're very pleased. Of course, now we have the advantage of the fact that there's funding that's guaranteed by the federal government. So I imagine that helped. But there are some good companies that have put in bids, and we're looking forward to the selection process.
So, Al, how has this affected your business this year? It's got to be really tough to see that service be absent.
Yeah, after the CN turned over the passenger train in mid-June, actually, it's been a very, very tough year after that point. Up to that point, it was a great year, and it was shaping up to be one of our best years in the last 10 years, and it's actually, unfortunately, has been one of our worst years in the last 10 years.
So how have you managed to stay in business? Because it's got to be devastating with the absence of those tourists and passengers that use that.
A lot of the adventure tourists I was able to switch from trains to float planes. The ecotourism product, though, is very ecologically centered, and the train was an extremely important part of those. So I lost basically all of my ecotourism product this year.
So, Linda, we saw posters with the Group of 7 event. Is that going to be discussed here?
We're going to talk about the fact that it's one of the casualties of the lack of the train this year, but it's all set to go. And in fact, next year we're planning to have 2 of them. One in the spring, which the Group of 7 came and painted during that season as well, and in September as usual. So yeah, we're going to be talking about all the events that we had to unfortunately cancel, and which we were really looking forward to increasing ridership through those events. They include a new Indigenous event, a train event called Journey on the Iron Horse. That's what First Nations used to call the train, and that was going to go to Missinaba from the Sioux. Missinaba Cree First Nation was partnering with us on that, and also, of course, the Searchmount North Pole Express, which at this point we've had to postpone, and so instead we want to plan something hopefully for during the March break around a slightly different theme.
Well, speaking of moving forward, what is this? Have you been informed about the status of the Agawa Canyon Tour train that's going to be ending its service for the season in a few weeks? Any word on what's happening there?
We're just involved with the passenger train, so we can't speak about the tour train. I don't think.
Yeah, the tour train is a completely separate process, which is really it's really CN itself that's doing that. So
what do you hope to see unfold here this evening? We've got a few people in already, and certainly more are going to be attending here. What do you hope people can take from this information session?
Well, one of the topics that we're going to be discussing is the fact that with winter coming, with the freeze up about to happen, unfortunately, people are very anxious about how they can winterize their properties. We have people who are going to be coming talking about trap lines that they can only access through the train. There are people who've got tags for hunting moose who won't be able to use them this year. So we're looking at approaching CN about an alternative, some way in which we can continue the service during this coming season.
Obviously, you would hope for a sooner than later response, but obviously this would be something you might not be able to do alone. Do you have any other groups that are going to be with you and talking to CN about this?
Possibly the I can't speak for others, but there are some others that might be willing to to join in with us.
Would these be the interested parties that put in the deadline? Or before the September 9th deadline?
No, see, what we're looking for is until the new operator starts, because unfortunately that new operator, with all the process of selection and then the fact that it has to all be, there are new agreements that have to be drawn up between Transport Canada and the City of Sault Ste. Marie and the new operator. And so with the fact that we're in the middle of a federal election, it's extremely unlikely that that's going to all happen before Christmas. So we're looking at probably the start would be in January.
That was going to be my next question. How much of a window of opportunity do you have? Obviously, it's a very elongated yet small window.
Well, it's... weather doesn't wait, though, and so this is what people are concerned about right now.
What we really need is some type of an interim service. Hopefully, we really need CN to provide some type of an interim service, and that if Transport Canada could cooperate on funding that, because the funding is there to provide the service. It's just it really is a matter of Transport Canada having some type of a temporary agreement with CN for the funding in the interim.